think the Bay gon' let you disrespect Pop, nigga? I think that Oakland show gon' be your last stop, nigga. They cold foul, I don't know why you still pretend.
So I did some research on this to try to see if Drake actually had a tour coming in Oakland. And the thing is, he just had the tour before he released Push Ups. So before he dropped that, he was on tour. And that was the last time until he just had the Australian tour. He hasn't been in Oakland, from what I see, since 2018. So from what I see, there is no proof to this. This was Kendrick doing what he did best. You made these comments about Pac. Should I say you put Pac on a TaylorMade? Now you got Tupac's ring. I'm going to run it. I'm going to make sure not only LA, Compton, I'm going to make sure the whole West Coast over here, California for sure, is not rocking with you. So that was where he went. It was a smart angle. Kendrick was very strategic in this. Like, you can't deny that. Whether you think he won or lost, you can't deny his strategy. That's for sure. He definitely was prepared. He's been waiting for this. He definitely was in on the plan. But as far as I'm concerned, there was no Oakland tour that was going on. Did Cole foul? I don't know why you still pretending. Now, we all know this can go two ways depending on how you look at it. J. Cole made a song called The Middle Child. In this case, he's literally the middle child, as he's in between Drake and Kendrick Lamar in their friendship, getting pulled in two different angles. We all know what happened on the Light That, where Kendrick mainly went at Drake, but he took his shots, which Cole caught some strays too, so Cole responded. So here is Kendrick basically responding, saying, you basically gassed him up. You put it in Cole's head that I was to him when you know it wasn't fully intended for you. You put that in Cole's head. You had Cole do that, which is why Cole found out the truth and he backtracked. And you got upset, allegedly. Then you have Drake's side. Drake is always giving Cole his flowers, giving him his props, and to him, he feels like Kendrick is just hating, is trying to keep him out the light. Didn't want to be a part of the beef. Didn't want him to have any shine. Doesn't give him his flowers. None of that. So in this case, it's a matter of which side you believe and which one you rock with. But I think the only thing we can really do to this response is listen to what Cole had to say himself as well as the bird. So basically, OVO stands for bird ends and bird bees. I mean, that's pretty much just what that is, just making fun of the owl logo. Here, Drake, the audience know you've been full of lies. We know who you really are. We know that's not you. Stop lying. You're not convincing anyone. That's what Kendrick is saying. As the old saying goes, you've dug yourself in a rabbit hole. That's what pretty much Kendrick is alluding to here, saying Drake has dug himself in a rabbit hole and it can get worse for him. And then he compares himself to B-Rad. He calls Drake the B-I-T-C-H, then compares him to B-Rad. B-Rad is from the movie Malibu's Most Wanted, where, if you know, you know. It was with the actor Jamie Kennedy, who's a white guy who grew up in Malibu, which is a rich neighborhood in California, a rich town, but tried to portray to be from the hood, be gangster and this and that. And basically he's saying that's Drake. You're really from this, but you're trying to be that.
You ain't black, and you can never be black. And your perpetrating ass is taking the only thing that I got left, my culture.
That's not you, you know? So he's comparing him. This was pretty funny, pretty clever to think about. But that's pretty much what he's saying on that one. He's pretty much comparing. If you watch the movie, it's so goated, he predicted the future when he said, ain't no law, boy. Because he knew Drake was going to sue. No, I'm just playing. That's not what that is. Basically, he said it ain't no law. There's no rules to this. Then he told him he's a ball boy, fetch Gatorade. Basically, that could be alluding to Drake always being at the, Drake with his commitment to the Toronto Raptors and the WNBA team Toronto's supposed to get, but Drake's ownership with the Raptors, basically telling him, you're on the sideline. You're basically a cheerleader. You're not in the game. That's how you are with this culture. You're a cheerleader. You ride waves. You're not actually with us. You just want to be a part of it. That's pretty much what Kendrick is saying on this, ain't no law boy, you ball boy, fetch Gatorade or something. The lyrics are a little wrong. He's saying since 2009 he had a jump, and that's when Kendrick was underground. I first heard Kendrick. I know he got a lot of new fans that just not catching on to him, didn't know about him. My first time hearing Kendrick was on The Game's The City. And Kendrick Lamar's remix of Black and Yellow. I heard him on that. I was like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know who this guy was. You know, I heard him on that one. I was a huge fan of The Game. Everybody know me. That's my favorite diss rapper of all time. So The Game had him on The City, and I'm like, okay, this dude's pretty nice. That's when I became a fan of Kendrick Lamar. So basically, he's saying since that time, he had a jumping. Speaking on the West Coast. And I guess that could be alluding to Drake saying he put him on. And that's Kendrick basically responding like, look, I've been on. Which, if that's the case, no, Drake definitely gave him an assist. Numbers definitely went up after the Drake tour. Old school days, we used to give people, y'all know how it is, you give people a wedgie when you pull their boxers and it goes in between they butt crack. Y'all know how it is. So that's basically what he's saying like that. Like, bro, you're lame. We're still give you a wedgie. That's the type of person you are. And if I'm thinking correct, I believe in Malibu's Most Wanted, they gave Beat Rat a wedgie. But I could be wrong. But that also could be a reach that he could be referring to, could be playing on that again. What does OVO stand for? Now, if you look up the definition of that, you know what it is, as he said it in the very next phrase. That was dirty. That was a dirty line right there. Can't deny that one. That was a dirty line. Like, that was crazy. I give Kendrick his props on that one. Relax. Means sit up straight, straighten yourself out, with your back straight, shoulders and all that. Basically, what he's telling them, hey, look, Drake, relax. Tell the pop star stop hiding. This bar didn't age quite well. He's making fun of Drake, basically. You know, pop stars aren't looked at as tough and all that. Basically, he's telling them, hey, you're not a rapper. You're a pop star. You're this. But I'm going to tell you this. Awards was given out for Billboard. And I'll tell you, between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, one rapper received Rapper of the Year award, while the other received Pop Star of the Year award. So I'm going to let you decide which one received which. And we could talk about that one. So that bar kind of took a funny turn on that one. The line was clever, though. Fuck a caption, I want action. That goes back to Drake. You know, they're saying basically he goes on Instagram and he tweets, gets on Finsta, he posts all that. He posts these pictures with these cryptic captions where people are guessing what he's talking about. They might know what he's talking about. Basically, Kendrick is saying, look, I want the smoke. Get out here and rap. Stop tweeting about what you're going to do and this and that, and come at me. That's basically pretty much what Kendrick Lamar is saying. Fuck around and get polished. Y'all know polish, like nail polish, is like a permanent stain that you have to, you know, physically, that is going to take, you have to take something to remove it to get it off yourself. That's basically what Kendrick Lamar is saying right here. He's saying he's going to, F a caption, I want action. You're going to mess around and get polished. That's more, I'm going to beat you up. They're going to know you in the fight. Going to leave your mark, black eye, this and that. Except in this case, he's talking about rapping. He said, I'm going to give you a permanent stain, a permanent L that nobody will ever forget. And from what we're seeing now, according to most, that's pretty much been the case. You know, the stuff Kendrick has said and what's going on with all this, the whole little. So, I mean, that's a bar. That's pretty much what I get from that bar. To basically do something illegal or harmful, something against the code. Basically, that's what he's saying. Drake cracks the code, which in most cases you would look at. But that's not how this one went. Actually, Lil Wayne himself, and that's what's so crazy about this, people actually put this as, oh, Kendrick exposed Drake for... That video of Lil Wayne speaking on that been out years ago. That wasn't any new information Kendrick exposed, quote unquote.
Verification that did not, it may not have happened.
Whatever it was, it happened. I just got a badass memory.
So you don't know who the girl was.
What are we talking about? That first of all.
So apparently, in the book, there's a part in the book where you say that he came in and told you that he had smashed one of your girls.
Oh, when he wrapped up. Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I mean, I was just.
So, and two, that wasn't even how it went. Now Kendrick did a nice flip to make it look like Drake was a snake. He did a nice flip, how he put it with the whole get his face tattooed because you were so ashamed, you know you did something dirty. Drake does have the Lil Wayne tattoo just as well as he has a LeBron James tattoo. Ain't no telling who else. I don't know. I mean, that's him. That's what he's doing. But Kendrick put a nice spin on it to make it seem like you were so embarrassed, you knew you did wrong, you wouldn't try to apologize and get his name tattooed. Like, basically to make Drake look bad. Basically, they weren't together. This was before them. But, I mean, me and we have egos. You know, it's guys that I hang with that I know, we know of chicks that we didn't both, did with before. And we come together like, damn, you did too? And it kind of make us think like, damn, I thought it was just me. So that's pretty much what that is. I'm glad D Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him neither. He's talking about DeMar DeRozan. Y'all know DeMar DeRozan's from Compton. He was at the Pop Out on stage with Kendrick Lamar. But this is another bar that's not aging well at all, because in a recent interview not too long ago, yes, it looked good at first because DeMar went to the Kings where it looked like, damn, Kendrick Lamar was on to something. But then it started to take a wide turn when he made these comments.
When I finished my career as a Toronto Raptor, I would say the same thing for him. Yeah. He got drafted there.
Yeah. Like, I would never have an emotional connection like I had with no other place than Toronto.
So as you see, DeMar DeRozan is saying Toronto is his home, which is where Drake's from. He wants to return to the Raptors before his career is over with. So that made that bar become laughable. And then he ended it with Serena Williams, who's also from Compton. Used to have a thing with Drake, which Drake has continuously dissed Serena Williams and her husband. So she had some fun. At the Super Bowl, she was dancing. She was crip walking to a song, disrespecting Drake. Y'all know how that all went. Y'all know the controversy. Oh, your family got killed. Your sister got killed by a crip, and you're over here crip walking. Y'all know the controversy that came with it, and then y'all know there's a lot of people that loved it. But this is Kendrick basically defending his people. Look, these are my people. These is my Compton people. You stay away from them. You're not like us. That's pretty much what he's saying.
And your homeboy needs subpoena. That predator moving flocks. That name gotta be registered and placed on neighborhood watch.
Okay, a subpoena is basically an order in court. Basically, I'm gonna let you see it on the screen, but it's so many words. Basically, he's saying Drake needs to be locked up for these crimes. And me personally, if he is convicted of these and that's what he's doing, I agree 1,000%. Get him on out of here. But for now, it's no proof. It's just peddle claims that haven't stick and won't stick long term if nothing is going on. But, we'll see how this unveils, I guess. Predators moving flocks. Another bar that is not aging well. Because later on, as we seen, TDE got hit with the pedo charges. There was reportedly they were being, women has been accusing them as predators, and we all know Dr. Dre's history. We spoke about it in part 1. He had Dr. Dre on stage, which that caused a lot of controversy. And then you got these other guys in the TDE camp, which is who his affiliates, his people, who he speaks with, who represents him. He's no longer signed to him, but these are his guys. These are his affiliates. Even with the time, when you look at the timeline, when the lady is bringing this up, if I'm correct, Kendrick Lamar was still a member of TDE. This is not to say he's a part of any of this, but if you're going to say they move in flocks, and you're moving with them, if a chick is going to be with a whole bunch of females, she's saying they're all hoes, but she's with them, what does that make her? If a guy is saying, oh, all these dudes around me is bums, he's constantly with them, what does that make him? At least to us, that's looking at it from the outside. So this is another bar that just isn't aging well. He said their name got to be registered and placed on a neighborhood watch. When you are, now you know the cover photo, he has the embassy with the Predator logos all over on Drake's house. When your name is registered, that means you are a registered sex offender. That's what he's saying. Drake is that's what he's saying. Drake is a pedo. Drake's a sex offender. That's what he's saying. Basically, he's saying that everybody has to know this. He has to be on the neighborhood watch, basically to keep him away.
I lean on you niggas like another line of walk. Yeah, it's all eyes on me and I'ma send it up the pot.
He said, I lean on you. It's like another line of walk. That's a play on walk lean, which you know lean is the drink out in Texas. They're heavy on lean. It's called walk lean. Some people just call it walk. All eyes on me and I'm going to send it up to Pac. Now, that's a double play from a few angles, as you know. It's pretty obvious, though. Tupac from the West Coast, like Kendrick from the West Coast. Kendrick's doing it for the West Coast. Back to Drake buying Tupac's ring and the tailor-made freestyle with Drake, with Kendrick, with Tupac in it. So basically, he's doing it for Pac. He's gonna send it up to Pac. That's pretty much what he's saying. Also, all eyes on me, as Kendrick is saying, all eyes on him because he's the face of the West Coast. But that was also, as you know, Tupac's iconic album, All Eyes on Me. So that was a label on me. I'm gonna get him dropped. I guess he's talking about OVO, and you know that's a play. Like you can drop somebody from the label, you know, as in you release an artist. But in this one, he's saying I'm gonna get him dropped. Like I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna get him out of here. Basically, he's saying how he went talking about Baca and Party Next Door and all these guys from OVO. Basically, he's saying like, look, I'm gonna do all of them the same way, Drake. So bring them on. And then he doubles down on that when he says Sweet Chin Music and I won't pass the ox. Now that's a double play. Sweet Chin Music was the signature move from the legendary rapper Shawn Michaels, where he would kick you in the chin. And now the key word in that is music. Music and ox. Y'all know ox chord. Basically, Sweet Chin Music and I won't pass. Basically, he's not going to pass the ox. Y'all not going to be played. None of y'all stuff going to get heard. I'm going to get y'all dropped. Nobody's going to hear about y'all. After what I do to y'all, nobody's going to want to hear y'all music no more. And they tried it with Drake, but it didn't work. Because as we know, Drake is still the most streamed artist in the world, hands down. And it just continues by the month. He keeps on breaking the Spotify records and all that. So people still listen to Drake no matter what. Only Taylor Swift probably gets more. How many do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. This is on a play. He already dropped 5. He's talking about each one of his diss records. Like That, what's it, Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us. He's saying he has those 5 and he has 5 more. Everybody's been saying Kendrick Lamar had like 10 diss records he's had ready for Drake, ready to unload. So that's basically what he's telling them, that he's ready. However you want to play it, he's going to go on the vow. You know, they've been saying Kendrick had a lot of pre-recorded diss tracks. So that's what he's saying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. You can pretty much do the math on that one.
Ay, devil is a lie, he a 69 God. Ay.
Devil is a lie, he's a 69 God. Obviously, this is a clear play on Drake, who calls himself the 6th God, because that's where he's from in Toronto. But this is a play on the devil, calling him a 69 God. Y'all pretty much know where he's going with that. Inside. Basically, he's saying Drake needs to stay inside, needs to stay away from these children. Call him a predator, pedo, say he needs to be inside. He needs to leave people alone. Says you're overly freaky, that you're trying to touch on little kids. That's basically what Kendrick Lamar is saying. Or he's saying that something's going to happen to him. Basically saying that if you keep up these actions, and if you get caught being outside, somebody's going to beat you up. Somebody's going to roll you up like a fresh pack of za. You know, roll you up, basically another term for beat you up, F you up, however you want to put it. Cities back up, it's a must, we outside. Basically, he's saying this is a W for the West Coast, and this is an anthem for us, and we're all going to be outside dancing to this, celebrating, and which they have. You know, that was the biggest song last year, biggest song of the summer. You still see it, hear it played at certain venues here. You may But I mean, slowly but surely it's dying down with new music. But I mean, Kendrick pretty much called it. You know, no matter what else might have came with it, speculate. The song did what it had to do.